Welcome to the Kirklees Council South Asian Heritage Month.
Today we're talking about South Asian Heritage Month. It's a first that we'll be doing for Kirklees Council. It's never been done before, but now is the time and now is the place. We're going to have a month fun-filled that are going to inspire, talk about health, talk about food and talk about inspiration. The South Asian story is unique with regards to Britain and from the cultures that has now grown in this country, from coming here in immigration in the 1950s, 60s and 70s up to present day. The sights, the sounds. It's not just a month for people to think that a month will do. This is about all of us learning more, being inspired, learning about different cultures that make up Great Britain, United Kingdom. We've all had our part to play. We've all been a part of the ingredients of this great melting pot. From those that have given a sacrifice to those that are around us, our shopkeepers, our business leaders, you are part of this community and it's about time we celebrated that. So, from me, from Pam, from the BAME network, get involved. It's your South Asian Heritage Month.
The £65,000 Indian bronze statue was unveiled. We will have a special guest to explain how the community raised the funds and why it was so important for them to have this statue unveiled in the centre of Huddersfield.
Hi, my name is Shani Athwal and I am from Kirklees Public Health.
There was existing taboo and stigma with mental health issues in our community. This does not need to be the case. We're here to help you overcome those issues and the Kirklees team is here to provide you with the support you need.
Sat Sri Akal, Namaste, Assalamu Alaikum and welcome. My name is Sukineta. I'm from Homes and Neighbourhoods. So Hardy will take us through the journey of immigration for the South Asian community of Kirklees, linking in the Woven into Song project, which is in collaboration with community choirs and the South Asian Bolia singers of Kirklees. These songs tell the story of migrating from South Asia to work in the Kirklees textile industry during the 50s and the 60s.
We will be talking about everything to do with cuisine and food. The rich history of Asian food is something that I'm sure you will have lots of recipes to share with us. We do hope you'll be able to join us and we look forward to seeing you there.
Welcome to the second South Asian Heritage Month celebration on behalf of Kirklees BAME Employee Network. It seeks to raise the profile of British South Asian heritage and history in the UK through education, arts, culture and commemoration, with the goal of helping people to better understand the diversity of present-day Britain and improve social cohesion across the country.
My name is Edward Highfield. I'm a Service Director at Kirklees Council. I was really pleased to be asked to be a champion of the BAME network. I want to be able to support the important work of the network and learn a little about the communities that make up Kirklees.
Welcome to our South Asian Heritage Month. My name is Maureen Yard. I am the co-chair of the Black, Asian, Minority Ethnic Employees Network. We have a 4-week program that celebrates, educates and remembered the journey of empires and travel to the Caribbean as indentured workers or forced workers. This year's theme is travel and independence.
So, what do we have in store for you this year? The theme is Journeys of the Empire, from empires such as the Mughal, the Durrani, which is the Afghan Empire, the Vijayanagar from South India, and the British.
The great thing is that with the help of the British Legion and the Army veterans and the Yorkshire Regiment, we have a ceremony there every single year and paying tribute to all these soldiers that come across from far afield who made all these sacrifices.
My My friends and I decided to do something to support those displaced people. So we started a small group of volunteers with 30 people helping all the displaced people. All the people are coming to Aleppo.
So we're going to be celebrating the South Asian Heritage Month and looking at different artists.
And I'll be co-hosting and interviewing some fellow South Asian artists.
So come and join us and learn about these up-and-coming artists.
And learn about their creative inspirations.
Thank you.
So I was in banking and I just sort of almost realised that this isn't my passion. You know, I don't wake up every single morning thinking, yes, I'm making an impact. And that's different for everybody. We all find joy in different work environments and different things. I really wanted to try something new, and I'm very business-minded. I wanted to just try something, but I wanted something simple, a simple concept.
I am really passionate about BAME culture in all its diverse forms becoming part of the mainstream calendar of events in Kirklees. Therefore, I was very pleased to be part of South Asian History Month last year, and I was honoured to be asked to facilitate the final week on South Asian food culture. This year I have been invited back and will be having a particular focus and input around the tea traditions of South Asia.
Drinking tea reminds me of my grandfather, who was serving with the Indian Army and was stationed in the then Burma in the Second World War.
So my earliest memory about tea is I don't like tea. I used to see my mum and dad wake up and they literally couldn't, get on with their day without having a cup of tea.
My name's Rachel Spencer-Henshall. I am the Executive Team Champion for the Black Asian Minority Ethnic Group Network. And I want to just particularly thank Pam and obviously all the rest of the network who helped to bring these events together. It's so important that we celebrate, and I'm really excited to be part of it.
So, book your place at these unmissable events. See you there. Welcome to the second South Asian Heritage Month celebration on behalf of Kirklees BAME Employee Network. My name is Pam Simon and I am leading on the South Asian Heritage Month, which runs from 18th of July to the 17th of August every year. It seeks to raise the profile of British South Asian heritage and history in the UK through education, arts, culture and commemoration, with the goal of helping people to better understand the diversity of present-day Britain and improve social cohesion across the country. Last year's project was well received and we learnt about the Sikh Soldier story with the statue in Greenhead Park. We talked about support for mental health, we chatted about immigration and the evolution of Bhangra music in the UK, and finally we talked about the food in culture. We watched how to make Nepalese and Bangladeshi recipes. So, what do we have in store for you this year? The theme is Journeys of the Empire. From empires such as the Mughal, the Durrani, which is the Afghan Empire, the Vijayanagar from South India, and the British. From labourers forced to travel to the Caribbean and East Asia, and other migrants who travelled by choice to Africa and beyond, to the journeys that families made to the UK with just £3 in their pockets, we have all been affected by the journeys of the empire. The theme also reflects two major anniversaries taking place in 2022. 75th anniversary of the independence of India, partition and the creation of East and West Pakistan. 50th anniversary of the expulsion of Ugandan Asians. South Asian influences can be found everywhere in Britain, from our food and clothes to our music and even our words. The streets of our towns and cities are rich with the colours, sights, sounds of proud South Asian identity. Its culture permeates all parts of British life and adds to the diversity of the nation. South Asian Heritage Month is about reclaiming the history and identity of British South Asians. People need to be able to tell their own stories, and this is an opportunity to show what it means to be South Asian in the 21st century, as well as looking to the past to see how Britain became the diverse country it is today. So, welcome to our celebration event. we will catch up with Tim Buller with the next steps of his work, find out about the work of the migration team in Kirklees, join us for an exclusive virtual art exhibition, learn about the different tea and traditions and our special celebrity who is Lord Sugar's new business partner, Harpreet Kaur.
Talking to you about the launch of South Asian History Month. South Asian History Month runs from the 18th of July to the 17th of August, and we did a phenomenal job last year in terms of launching this and having an event across the council. I think the feedback I've heard suggests that people loved it, people were keen on getting involved in it and learnt a lot. So I'm really excited about the fact that we're doing it again this year, and I'm really hoping that more people can join in. The background to South Asian History Month is about raising awareness of South Asian heritage and history in the UK and how we can use that to improve social cohesion. It's in its third year, and we know that there's lots and lots and lots of cultural events taking place across the UK and also in Kirklees. So from our staff network perspectives, we're going to focus on this year's theme, which is the journey of empires. And the network in the council have done an amazing job, as always, with compiling some activities for us all to join in and celebrate this exciting month. The Sikh Soldier and some migration stories will start us off this time. We'll end in looking at South Asian tea and traditions, all of which sound like we're going to have an exciting time yet again. So I'd like to ask you all to join me in celebrating this month with our network. And I want to just particularly thank Pam, who, without her, we would just not have this sort of quality of event. She does an amazing job, and you can tell in everything that she does how passionate she is about it. And obviously all the rest of the network who help to bring these events together. It's so important that we celebrate, and I'm really excited to be part of it. Thank you very much.
I was at one of the remembrance marches in Huddersfield, walking down Greenhead Park, and somebody comes up to me and he says to me, "What are you doing here on the Remembrance Day?" And I got a bit really gobsmacked really, and a bit thought, hang on, there's something that's been untold here that I think that's missing. And I think you can't really blame anybody. I think it's just pure ignorance really of people knowing what the contribution of the Sikhs was in the world wars, fighting for Britain. And I thought to myself that we need to do something and address this issue. So how do you address it? You have to make sure that you can tell the story of these 84,000 Sikh soldiers who died in the World War, coming from a foreign land like India, all the way here to fight for Britain in World War I and II. Over 2 million soldiers, which was the highest conscript of soldiers ever in history, came over from India to fight in the world wars. So to me it was an untold story, and it was only right for somebody to tell this, or we make an attempt to tell the world what our contribution was. Even though our minority, we're a very small community in the world, but have given our lives, and I don't think you can do a bigger sacrifice than that. So this is where the project started, and we thought, right, we need to put something in place for people to understand, and so what do we do? So we formulated a committee and had some meetings with the Royal British Legion and the army veterans and asked them that, is there a possibility to put a memorial in place? And they said, what a good idea this is, because we do need to tell the story of not only the Sikh soldiers but all the soldiers from the Commonwealth. Yeah, these people should not be forgotten for their sacrifices that they made. So we had a long battle and a long discussion for many years. It took us 10 years to get this memorial put in place in Greenhead Park in Huddersfield, whereby we've situated a bronze statue, which is a 6-foot statue. We had it sculptured in India because we wanted some sort of a connection with India, because this is where the soldiers came from. We had it sculptured there, but we put the plinth was made in Yorkshire stone, because we're born and bred, I've lived all my life here. And so it gave it a good amalgamation, and it was a good story to tell. These soldiers came from there. Now every year, the great thing is that with the help of the British Legion and the Army veterans and the Yorkshire Regiment, we have a ceremony there every single year and paying tribute to all these soldiers that come across from far afield who made all these sacrifices. It's been there now 2.5 years. In 2019 we had the inauguration of the statue there, whereby the Yorkshire Regiment did the full ceremony for us, and we had the Lord Lieutenant Mr. Ed Anderson come down, who inaugurated it with the Lord Mayor and dignitaries from all over the country really, and all the councillors and everybody else attended this ceremony, which was received really very well and was highlighted really all over the world really, on the BBC and all the mainstream media companies, and everybody covered it up, which was very good really. At least we did our little bit in telling the story. That I think we shouldn't forget these people. I've had so many phone calls from all over the world, like Australia, British Columbia, and where they're building these statues just after what we'd done, which is so fascinating and really to see. And they're making them from the same sculptor that I made. I flew from here with my colleague, and we just found a sculptor in India, in Bombay. And we went to this place. He said, this is a young lad, but he said he's a great sculptor, and let's give him the opportunity. But he did a fantastic job. Did a fantastic job, really. And now he's been, you couldn't believe it, from a small garden shed, he's got a unit now where he does that as a life job now, which is fantastic. We put that in situ, and the next thing was really educating people and making it known to people what is this statue there for, which I think still needs to be told in a big way to a lot. I think the majority of people don't know it. So at this moment in time, I am going around the country with my daughter, who's harpsichord. She's a radio presenter with the BBC, and we are making a documentary of some of the veterans and their families who are obviously in their 90s now, you can imagine, from the World War II. And when I do these interviews, like you can imagine, some of them break down and very emotional. And the first thing they say is, "Oh, have you just come to take a photograph?" I said, no. I said, no. Time has gone now. I think it's time for you to tell your story now. Hopefully, I'd say within the next 12 months, that'll be ready for everybody to witness. But the story, we want them to tell the story. We don't want to tell their story. Again, it's untold again. These people are around in this country, all over the place. And very few of them, only a handful are left, as you can imagine. And then you're trying to get a story out of them when somebody's about 97 or 98. It is a task in itself. But there again, we just want their legacy and their story to be told, witnessed by the world, that these are the people that we should never forget. Yeah, not only in terms of their contributions, but in for future, for our community to get into the British Armed Forces, yeah, and have the same respect given to them, which by all means they give us all the considerations in terms of we can wear the turban and the articles of faith, which the British Army does allow, which is a fantastic gesture by them. And we should try and encourage that for them to participate and take places within the Army as well. So that is one of the other big reasons why we're doing that. But if we don't tell the story and leave them behind, then we will be falling into the same untold situation, which is not really a fair thing to do. And the history books have omitted them really in a very big way, which I think is the fault of everybody. So we need to address that. And the other thing is we are also with something else that is going to be released hopefully by the end of this year, which is going to be, all I can say at this moment in time, it's going to be a musical thing. And I really can't really say much more on that at the moment, because it is quite something that was quite close-knit to us. But I think it's very professionally done by professional people and musicians really, from not only from England but from even outside here. So that'll be an interesting way really going forward. But we want to keep this alive and make sure that we can tell as much as we can about these soldiers that have contributed so much to this nation.
Welcome to the second South Asian Heritage Month celebrations on behalf of Kirklees BAME Employee Network. My name is Pam Simon and I am leading on this project. The theme for this year is Journeys of the Empire. The theme reflects two major anniversaries taking place in 2022. 75th anniversary of the independence of India, partition and the creation of Pakistan. The White Line celebration will take place on Sunday, 21st of August 2022 to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the 1947 British India partition and the Indian independence. The event will take place at St George's Square, Huddersfield, and it will start at 1 p.m. The event will include film screenings of A New Life in Huddersfield, Chol Theatre's £3 in my pocket. The event is free, so we do welcome everybody to come and have a look and be part of this celebration. Another major anniversary taking place in 2022 is the 50th anniversary of the expulsion of Ugandan Asians. In 1972, almost 60,000 Ugandan Asians were expelled from the country. The British government ultimately permitted 27,000 people to move to the UK through the Ugandan Resettlement Board. UK families opened their homes to welcome people from other cultures and cared for them whilst they settled and made UK their home. Today, I would like to welcome a very special guest, Abed, who is part of the Migration and Refugee Resettlement team that work in Kirklees, supporting asylum seekers, refugees and migrants. This small team are working very hard to ensure that families are supported in a number of ways to fully resettle and integrate into the communities. Welcome, Abed, and thank you for attending today and being part of the South Asian Heritage Month celebrations. I first want to know a little bit about you and all the amazing work you have done before you came to the UK.
Hi, Pam. Thank you very much for having me today. I'm so proud to be part of the South Asian Heritage Month celebration. My name is Abed Mubayit, and I'm from Syria, from a city called Aleppo. You might heard of it. In 2011, when people started fleeing to Aleppo, because Aleppo remained safe in the first time of the revolution, my friends and I decided to do something to support those displaced people. So we started a small group of volunteers with 30 people helping all the displaced people. All the people are coming to Aleppo. And the group expanded very quickly. We became one of the most important volunteering group in Aleppo with 500 volunteers. We used to send a lot of aid to other cities as well. We used to provide houses, basic needs to the people arriving to Aleppo. And then I helped an international organization to set up their own office in Aleppo. The organization named Jesuit Refugee Service. I used to work with them to support Iraqi refugees living in Aleppo long time before the revolution. And they didn't have an office in Aleppo, so my friends and I helped them to set up their own office in Aleppo. And we used to support a lot of displaced people. We opened schools as well as a refuge, and I was responsible for one of those schools who had around 400 people with their families. But when it became too much violence in Aleppo, I had to move to Lebanon with my family, where I lived for 4 years. First, I worked also with GRS, but I was like unemployed with them in Lebanon. I helped them to set up their own office in Lebanon as well, because they didn't have any work there at that time. We were only 3 people. and our focus was on children education. So we opened schools, we hired teachers, we delivered training for those teachers to help the Syrian children progress with their education. And then I worked with an American nonprofit organization called Saad Saud organization. Saad Saud is the name of a star. It's well known within its Arabic name, and it's referred to one star in the sky, which linked to other group of stars. It has the same characters of these star group, and the scientists believe that these stars used to be linked with this group, but for some reason it's became away. So the founder of the organization found it similar to the refugee condition, where people have to leave their the family or their homes and to be far away, but they really want to be part of this group, and because they have the same characters and they have a lot of common. So our focus was to support the education of Syrian girls living in Lebanon. It was really hard conditions for Syrians at that time who's living in Lebanon. They didn't have an easy access to education. So we tried our best to raise some money or some funding to cover the expenses of those small schools. And then I worked with an organization called Basme and Zaytoune, or Smile and Olive. I was the center manager in Shatila refugee camp. Shatila refugee camp is well-known Palestinian refugee camp in Lebanon. It's just 1 kilometer square, 1 kilometer square, and it had a lot of people, especially after 2011. So mainly Palestinian people used to live there, with some Lebanese local people. But then after 2011, a lot of Syrians moved there, and the camp became so busy. And instead of expanding horizontally, they expanded vertically. And they didn't have, at the camp, there are, I think, 14 armed factions living in the camp with a lot of weapons. So it wasn't like a really safe space to work with. But it was a really a unique experience to work with all those people in this center. So within the center, we had 10 projects. Some example of those projects: we had school for 700 children. We had art and cultural center for everyone. We had vocational training for adults. We provided a small grant project for women and young people. So we trained those people to open their own businesses, and then they need to submit proposal. And if their proposal is accepted, we give them small grant, non-refundable small grant, to start their own businesses. And then we support them during their project as well, after they open their shops, to maintain these businesses. Also, we had the protection department, so anything related to safeguarding. We used to provide the essential need with the relief department. What else? We had 2 different peace building projects only for children. We had a renovation program, so we used to renovate the houses in the camp, because the condition is really bad. People there don't have even access to clean water. So with the renovation, we try to provide them with these access as well. So this is just an example of the projects we had. I don't think I covered everything, because we used to have a lot of projects. We had a journalism project with DW the German channel. So they came and provide us with the training for young people to help them become journalists in the future. And it was really nice project because I remember I have seen a lot of YouTube videos who's being filmed in the camp. So yeah, we try to give a chance for young people to have a word in these harsh conditions. And then in 2016, I got scholarship from the British government. It's called the Chevening Scholarship to do my master's degree in post-war recovery studies at the University of York. And this is when I left Lebanon and moved to the UK, where I've done my master's degree. And then I worked after graduation. I worked as a director with an organization called Dawlati, or My State. I worked with them for a short period of time. We used to do a project related to transitional justice and democratic change. We supported a lot of small initiatives in Syria and so if they want to do any project, we used to help them, but also we used to deliver training about democracy and freedom and what does it mean in Syria context. And then I started working with with Kirklees Council as a Migration and Refugee Project Officer, and that was in 2019. I'm still working with the team. I'm so proud to be part of this great team. We are a small team, but we're doing a lot of work. Anything related to refugees, asylum seekers, and migrants in Kirklees. We have something to do with it. So in a different levels, but yeah, I'm really happy to use my previous experience and put it here in this current job to not work only with Syrian refugees, but to work with refugees and asylum seekers from all over the world and help them to settle in Kirklees and the UK and to have a happy life with their new start here.
Wow. I'm still processing that. That's an awful lot of work that you've done, and it's been an amazing work. Wow. And so you're now in the migration team. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing now with in Kirklees? I think, and also you'd mentioned in a previous conversation about all that hand-holding support that you provide to the families here.
Okay, I'm not sure if I can summarize all the work we're doing. So first of all, with refugees, we provide we used to provide 5-year support. Now it's 3-year support for the resettlement families. So when we have a new family to be resettled here in Kirklees, we provide them with 3-year support through the housing officers and other partners as well. So we prepare the house for them. It's supposed to be furnished. It's just the basics, but it's good enough for a family to start a new life here. We help them to register with the GP, with dentists, opticians. We help them to register as well with the job center to set up their benefits. And this is usually happen through the housing team. And also we work with international new arrival team who help those families' children to be registered at school. So they found them a school or a nursery, they registered them at school, they help them, they support them through their education journey. The team is also bilingual, so they speak second language, and in the past, they used to go with the children at the school, sit with them in the class, and translate if they don't speak English. So we used to provide like full support for children, in addition to registering with free school meals, uniform, anything related to school. So this is for children. We talk about for the adult education. We provide something called ESOL support. So we have, and this is happening through an organization called TSL, Third Sector Leaders. So they do an English assessment for for each individual, and then signpost them to the right English course. And they also help them through their education if they want to register at the college and if they want to progress in the higher education as well. Also, part of my job is to deliver something called information session for families. So either for the Syrian families, resettlement families, or for the Afghan families as well. So I used to invite guests to talk about specific topic, such as health, housing, schools, education, ESOL, employment, anything related to their basic needs, anything they need to learn about. Sometimes we invite police to talk about hate crime, for example, how to report it, what is hate crime. So I used to deliver this also for the families. One of the Another part of my job is to create something called the welcome pack. Welcome pack is a booklet which contain a lot of information about Kirklees. So, for example, how to find the bus station, train station, shopping, any information about shopping, how can you, what medication you could buy from pharmacy, more information about pharmacies, GPs, how to find your local GP, how to register with them, what the papers you need. So all these essential information that they need. Also about the culture, the British culture. So they need to learn about it as well, because it could be different from their own culture. So we delivered these welcome pack, and now it's translated to different languages as well. The welcome pack is place-based, so it's not only for Kirklees, it's more about what's going on in Huddersfield, Batley, Dewsbury, and rural as well. We have 3 different packs for rural. So we have 6 packs, which now translated to English, to Ukrainian, I'm sorry, and some of them are being translated to Arabic, Urdu, Arabic, Pashto, and Dari. But now we are planning to translate those packs to the asylum seekers' languages as well. So it will be like available in more than 10 languages soon. An asylum seeker is any person who come to the UK and apply for asylum because they're seeking refuge, because they've been discriminated in their own country due to different reasons. Could be religion, could be political reasons, could be sexuality, disability, anything which put them in danger in their home country. So they come and seek asylum here, but they are still waiting for the Home Office decision. So they don't know what's going on with their application. They can't work, they can't study. And we, as a council, we don't work with them directly. We support the local organizations and local charities who work directly with them. On the other hand, we have the refugees or resettled refugees. So a refugee is a person who receive the Home Office decision, which is positive decision. The Home Office accepted their asylum case, and they will receive usually it's 5 years residency to live in the UK. But there is something called the Resettlement program. It's where people flee from their countries, living in neighboring countries, and registering with the UNHCR. The UNHCR contact the Home Office which contact the local authorities to resettle those people from the neighboring countries to the UK. So each local authority declare how many people they could receive in their area. I think Kirklees Council is proud to receive a lot of resettlement families. When I first started, we had around 40 resettlement families. We used to provide them direct support for 5 years. And now we have we are supporting the Afghan relocation families who's living now in Kirklees. It's just similar program, same idea. We are relocating people to live here in the UK, but we're not leaving them to start their own life by their own. We try our best to provide the support to be ready to start with this new life here. Also, we provide support for local charities. So we have a blog, which is an electronic resource for all partners to use. And also we have something called Directory of Services, which is similar to the Yellow Pages. People can use it to learn about what is available for those organizations in Kirklees. Finally, we have the now the Ukrainian Club, Huddersfield Ukrainian Club. We have drop-in sessions now for Ukrainian refugees. It's open 3 days a week. It's where the sponsor and guest could go to this club and meet different services. We have people from housing, international new arrival team, early support, TSL. So when the family come to the club, we help them to claim their benefits, registering at schools for the children and nursery. I'm sorry. So we help them with their benefits. We help the children to be registered at school or nurseries. We also help the adults to have an access to ESOL classes. We have people from different teams. We have early support team as well. We have a social prescriber team. So it's like different teams. So when people come to the club, we do something called initial assessment to understand their current situation. And based on the initial assessment, we refer them to the right team to provide them with the full support. I think what's going on in the Welcome Club is something really, really nice. People are really happy there, and they started coming week after week, not only for the support available, but also because they are socializing, they're meeting other Ukrainian people as well. And we started delivering some social club for them and give them the ownership of this group. So they are the leader of this group, and they are the one who decide what they want to do. So I think it's really nice place for them, it's a safe place, and also they're coming with their children, and we have a team to keep the children busy. We have another team which called they are delivering a project called Me Try and Learn. So they're doing like craft. So instead of coming to the drop-in session and all the teams are busy and no one can see you, instead of just sitting doing nothing, you could do some crafts to keep you busy and have something nice at the end of the session.
That's really brilliant. Wow, that's amazing. Wow, there is so much going on. Gosh. So, so I understand also that you are looking to the future and you've got exciting things planned.
Now I decided to continue my studying, and in September I will start studying bachelor degree in psychology at the University of Essex. It's a part-time and it's online, so it's a remote program. It's 4 years, and I will be continue working with the Migration and Resettlement team, but as a part-time.
Wow. You definitely like to have a lot to do. I think that's really, really interesting. Everything that you've said, your background, you've been through a lot of hard times and seen a lot of difficult situations. I've got to say, I think we're all really pleased that you have come here, you are working so hard, and that you're going to stay. So I do wish you well with your studies, and thank you for all the work that you've been doing.
Thank you very much.